A few days ago, Sony announced they'll be holding a virtual press conference on April the 20th. Now, Canon has announced they'll be holding their own virtual press conference 1 hour later on the same day.
Delivering informative capability-based reviews and tutorials on camera gear, filming techniques, and content creation.
Hi, it's Simon from The Ordinary Filmmaker. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe and like button as it really helps support my channel, and a big thanks to everybody that's already subscribed. All the links to everything I talk about in this video are in the description down below. Canon's going to be holding a virtual press conference on April the 20th at 1 p.m. This is the exact same time or the exact same date range that we were going to have NAB 2020. And if that date also sounds familiar for other reasons, well, that's because Sony's going to be holding their virtual press conference 1 hour earlier. Canon will be covering imaging products and technologies focusing on their broadcast and cinema sectors. Canon CEO Kazuto Ogawa said, "The road ahead is long and filled with uncertainty, but when the broadcast and cinema industries are ready to resume normal activities, Canon wants them to know we will be there to continue to support professionals with new products and technologies that meet their needs." This puts us close to the end of April, right when NAB 2020 was to take place. It's also right in the middle of when we expected an announcement on the R5 and R6. As I said yesterday, we expect an official announcement around April-May. Could Canon announce the R5 at the same virtual conference? What do you guys think? Oh, and by the way, I have two more segments coming up, a behind-the-scenes segment coming up right after this, and right after that we have the Spring Challenge, thanks to Brandon Photography. As part of my behind-the-scenes series, I want to let you know a little bit that's changed with my channel recently. You might notice that my skin color looks a little different. It's definitely a little paler, and that makes sense because, as most of you know, I'm living in Canada where we don't get an awful lot of sun, and when we do get sun in winter, it's definitely not warm enough to be outside tanning. I've done a lot, and I really do have to give a shout out and thanks to Gregg, because he consulted with me just a couple of days ago, and we made a lot of changes. But I want to go back a little bit further. If you look at some of my other videos, like this, you can see that I have a very sort of reddish face. It's a little blotchy. It doesn't look as good, and I've been working to fix this for a long time. Yes, I definitely want to upgrade my studio, but I got to fix my lighting, and I've tried moving lights. I've tried different stands. I've tried correcting things on the computer, and I am using this little tool here, this Right White, that I hold up to my face, and then when I take it into post, I color balance things. So I get the color balance correct, and that's good. And I've got my lights. They're set to about 5,600 degrees, which is the same sort of color temperature you get with normal daylight. So that's good. But the rest of it, I'm having trouble trying to figure out what to do in the computer. So when I sat down with Peter, it started off as a phone call, but it turned into, basically, he was able to remote into my computer and show me what I should work on with Final Cut Pro. So we got the balance correct, but then we started playing around with color wheels, and I'd never really played around with color wheels. I had played around with a mood board. I'd used the contrast. I'd used the different waveforms and the histograms. So I know how to balance out the exposure, the saturation, and the colors and get all that right. But no matter what I did, I just couldn't get things right. So we started off there. We went to the color wheels. We adjusted it a little bit, and my color started to look a lot better. But then Peter said, "You're getting an awful lot of glow off your face. You're getting a real shine there." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I've tried adjusting the lights. I've tried everything. I've tried to angle them differently. I've tried rotating them so they're actually shooting to the side of me. They're not actually shooting right on top of me." And Peter said, "Yeah, let's try something different." So he directed me over to change the lights. He said, "What I want you to do, instead of having the lights facing me," I've got to be careful because I don't want the focus to go on my hands. Instead of having them focus like this, angled directly at me, he said, have them face directly at each other. And I thought, okay, this has got to be some sort of calibration thing. I don't understand this, but you know, Peter's got decades of experience. I'm going to listen. And then he said, okay, just rotate them a little bit, tilt them towards you just a little bit, maybe like 2.5, 5 degrees. So I did. And that's how you're getting this color temperature. Everything's looking good. So I've got 5,600 degrees here. I've got the same lights. They just tilted a bit differently. I'm using color balancing in Final Cut, and I'm also using color wheels. And I can understand why it was so hard for me to do this. I was watching a lot of videos saying what you should do. But it's not just about color wheels. It's not just about color balancing. It's not just about color grading. It's not just about the lights. You have to do it all together. You have to calibrate it all together to get the right results. So I'm really excited by this. I hope you are too. Let me know what you think. If you're really happy with this, I know I am. Look, I'm much happier with this. I don't look so much like, well, my colors were all off. And sometimes if I got really warm, because sometimes I get really warm while I'm shooting this. So quite often you'll see me business here, and down below I'm usually wearing shorts so I can cool off. And as we move into the warmer weather, I'm wearing short sleeves so I can dissipate the heat, because what happens is my face starts to get really, really red, and that ruins things all the more. If you're looking at starting a channel, or if you're doing video already and you're having problems with color, I highly recommend reaching out to Peter. He does, for a mere $30, he'll spend a good lot of time with you. I think this was about an hour that we spent on this, and the results are really, really good. So thank you, Peter, for helping me out. I'm very happy with the results. The next thing I really want to start to work on, guys, is the studio. I do want to get a sit-down desk. I like what Gerald Undone has done. Undone, yeah. I really like what he's done. I like the simple lighting that he has, and it's great for when he get lenses or bodies in. He can easily show them off, and he's got a really good setup. The big problem I have right now is I just can't source furniture. It's very difficult to get. A lot of the places that I normally go to, they're closed. I can't get in there, and this is the type of stuff I don't want to order online. I want to be able to see it, feel it. I'm thinking of a desk that's about 4 by 3, 4 feet by 3 feet, not 4 meters by 3 meters. And I think that'll go really well. And then I'm going to replace this green screen here with I'm not sure if I'm going to go with a solid background that I'll have painted, and I'm not sure which color. What do you guys think would work good as a color background? That's one thing I want your thoughts on. But I might just put up a simple drywall, a fake wall there, paint that. That's a more expensive way of doing it, but it's a little bit more durable. And I think that'll give me a much more professional looking studio, and a studio that I think is far more effective for me, instead of me standing here the whole time and having very limited ability to showcase products. So that's my plan for the future. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I've had I've had a very good boost in subscriptions lately. Over the past month, I've got 980 new subscribers. So thank you guys for coming on board. My views are up. In the last month, I've got over 100,000 views. And that gives you an idea. Since I started at the end of October last year, I've got a total of 310,000 views. So in the last month alone, I've gotten a third of that. So that tells me I must be doing something right. You guys are sticking around. You're watching more of my videos. I have a minimum average watch time of 4 minutes, but that's starting to peak over 6 minutes. So I do appreciate your comments. I use them in the video. I'm improving as I can to deliver you news and rumors as it happens without delay. I'm recording this in my lunch break right now, and then after work I'll put the finishing touches on it and get it out to you. Normally I publish these, I'm finding a good time, it's between 10 o'clock and midnight my time. Last week I issued a spring challenge, and I've received several entries. A couple of days ago I published Liam Jewell's video about spring. And today I'm going to publish Brandon Charles Photography's video about spring. The challenge isn't over. Go outside, capture spring as it's happening. Flowers, animals, whatever you see, whatever makes you feel like summer's on its way and that the icy cold grip of winter's disappearing. Let's go ahead and take a look at Brandon Charles' video. I love this opening scene. It's just beautiful. But here we cut to the reality of spring. It's dark, it's brown. Things haven't quite awoken yet. But we can see the sun. Things are poking through. The grass is slowly greening. Flowers are slowly coming out. Thanks for that beautiful interpretation of spring, Brandon Charles. Spring Challenge isn't over though, guys. Send in your videos. I'll publish them in the coming weeks. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. All equipment used and notes are placed in the description box, show more box, or down arrow thingy next to the title on the mobile app.